which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning. As we do roll call, if anyone wants an agenda, they're on the tables back there. If there's not one, raise your hand. We'll make sure to get more printers. There was quite a stack when I came in. So if you would like an agenda, please do so. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Visnaw.
Here.
Commissioner Donaldson.
Here.
Commissioner Mester.
Here.
Commissioner Moore. Here. Commissioner Winarski.
Here.
First time up. Anybody hiding Kimberly or Shannon? I don't see.
Is that the advanced?
We'll move on then. If there are there any corrections or additions to the agenda or the consent agenda? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
The motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Winarski, seconded by Commissioner Visnaw to approve the agenda and consent agenda as submitted. Any additional questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. We are up to our first public comment session of our meeting. Some of you have been here, a lot of you have been here, and thank you for that. Thank you for your engagement. In our meetings, we have two public comments. The first is on any agenda item, which is why I directed your attention to the agendas that are on the table. If there's an agenda item you wish to address, we want you to have that opportunity at the beginning of our meeting. You'll be given 3 minutes to address this board. If it's a general comment, at the end of our meeting, we have our second public comment, still limited to 3 minutes on any item you wish this board to consider. So, asking now if there is an agenda item anyone wishes to make public comment on. You do not need to give your name. If you want, some people want their name in the minutes. If you want that, you may give your name. If you want to give your name, but you are not required to. And if you want to come to the podium, people will be able to hear you better. Anyone wish to make public comment on an agenda item? Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I've been up here a number of times over the last year or two. Many times I will often say thank you for the service that you guys provide for the community. Not everybody would step up to the plate like you guys do. And it can be a difficult time to make decisions. Sometimes you're going to have one group pitted against another group. Here we're talking about today for the master plan. Trust me when I tell you, this master plan, I don't know if everyone's read this or not, but if you're voting on it and you haven't read it, you should vote no. It's laced with things that make it so easy, for data centers, for solar, for battery, things that this county does not need. So I just want to remind everyone here, you guys are a representative body. So in other words, when you walk through the door, you need, it's important to check, your personal agenda at the door. You represent everyone in the community here. Now here, for the ordinances and for the master plan, we're talking about money. When things don't make sense, typically you look at money. So here you're looking at solving financial problems. If you're down the agenda of making it easier for solar and data centers, you want to make sure that the county workers, their pensions are fully funded, but then you've got 99% of the rest of the population here that does not want this for a host of reasons. There's health concerns, environmental concerns, and basically just destroying this community. It's a beautiful community, and it's not only just about wrecking the looks of it, tourism, but there's a whole long list that you guys have heard over the last several years. So you guys are not ignorant of the concerns that everyone has. A lot of people have brought this up. I would vote no on this, on approving this master plan. Just like I said, it is laced. Our agricultural land does not need to be inundated with light industrial. Light industrial and agricultural and residential opens the door wide open, you know, to data centers. Like I said, with solar and battery, we don't need this in this community. We're already inundated with it. We've got our share. You know, we need to stop it. People who sit there and say that, oh, there's nothing we can do about it, the state law says we have to have it.
Thank you.
BS, that's not correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the one ask for the first public comment, because it is on an agenda item, just make sure we know what agenda item so we can draw our attention to that. You don't need to identify anything else. And then in the second, you don't need to identify anything. But so for the first, please indicate what agenda item.
Good morning. I'm also here discussing, I believe it's item 14, the master plan. Unfortunately, I was out of town during the last master plan meeting. Otherwise, I would have brought this to their attention at that time because I have a copy. I have been reading it. I am not happy with a lot of it. I have all kinds of highlighted notes, things that I'm very concerned about. I will start with a positive note. However, there is a section that's quote, it states, these events coupled with Gladwin County's local systems of recreation tourism based on economy. That's a strong positive comment, I believe, for our county. So I'm not here saying everything in here is awful. I'm saying there's some strong supportive of what our goals are in this county, but there is, like the previous speaker, there is literally red highlights indicating these are problems. These are big problems. I did bring this to the Planning Commission's attention to the meeting prior. I was guaranteed that it was things were going to be looked at. I unfortunately did not have time due to my own work schedule to meet one-on-one and discuss some of the stuff with them. So I am really asking for your consideration here to really think about voting this through today. I think this needs way more time. For example, let me see, I mean, literally I've got all kinds of pages. There's a section, page 53, now granted mine is not the updated, mine is the previous copy. So it's not the one that you probably just received, but it says in here, use land use and zoning to divert new development towards central and existing development and infrastructure. I am a little hesitant there because strong infrastructure focused language often is used to justify large utility projects. And this language is literally throughout this document. Things that could tighten this up to maybe make land use a little more difficult for utility could be replace such verbiage with land use and zoning to direct appropriately scaled residential, commercial, and community serving development toward existing municipalities while discouraging industrial scale utility infrastructure in rural development and environmentally sensitive areas. Now this is just one little teeny tiny example. I could give you 50 of them or more. Actually, this is only pages 49 through 60, so this isn't even the whole thing.
Thank you.
So I would encourage you to not pass this today without a lot of considerations. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to vote?
Hello, my name is Ben Franz, and I was making a comment here on the master plan. Going just a little bit bigger picture with it, because I haven't had a chance to read it. It was hard enough to find out where this meeting was. I mean, I probably should know where it is by now, but I ended up at City Hall first because everything online wasn't posted. It seems a little bit shady that it's not a more available information for people, for citizens like myself who are concerned to come in and check it out. But in regards to upscaling and developing this area, I grew up in Chicagoland, 35 miles outside of the city. I lived in a place where in order to see forests and to see the nature of the area, you had to go to a forest preserve. You had to go somewhere where that was like set aside because so much development happened over the last 100+ years that there was nothing but residential, commercial, and the occasional little speck of forest or maybe a farm. I don't think that's what we want here in Gladwin, obviously, and I don't think we're at risk of having it happen anytime soon. But as these other comments have pointed out and noted, these things, if the language is not proper and if there's not enough considerations and remedies for companies, they are going to take advantage of it, and there is going to be perhaps unwanted developments or excessive developments, and then, you know, maybe in 100 years we find ourselves in a similar situation because of something like this. I mean, it's a bit of a long stretch, and I get we're going a bit meta here, it's not very specific, but I have lived here in Gladwin now for over 5 years. It is a fantastic place, and I've seen it slowly be built up over this time. I've seen abandoned businesses come back. The Gladwin Arcade in town is obvious as evidence of that. Back 40 Taxidermy used to be downtown, now they got a place right there on F61. So places are building, they're developing, they're growing. So we already have a slow and steady growth kind of going on in this town. I don't think we need to supercharge it with something like this when we're already attracting those attentions, especially when there's all those environmental concerns. There is a lot of considerations to be had with these bigger utility companies, and especially data centers. I mean, it is AI, it's a big word that's thrown around a lot these days. I think it's used as a bit of a boogeyman, but at the same time, it's something that we do have to be maybe a little more cautious of, especially at least precise in the language when we are trying to get these things forward, because I don't want to speak for anyone but myself, but I'm sure there's plenty of people who are just as concerned about these things and probably don't want it, and especially if the verbiage is as vague and not thorough as was pointed out in the last comment. Yeah, I think it would be best that on item 14 that there be a delay at least, maybe not a no, but a postponement to allow the language to be better ironed out, and then that way at least if this does get passed, you know, despite maybe the wishes of some of the people here, at least it's a more airtight version of it versus something that might leave the door open to potential abuse. So, thank you.
Thank you. Again, I'm pretty protective of my county and my meetings for everyone. I take exception to us being shady. Our meetings for as long as I've been around have been the second and fourth Tuesday of the month in this area. So, not doing anything nefarious, not doing anything shady. This is when our board meeting is. So I do appreciate your other comments though, sir. I will not let us be disparaged. Anyone else wish to make public comment?
Hello. I'm here to discuss the master plan. I got involved with this as a township trustee. Previous commissioner said that we needed to get our master plan updated. So I listened to him talk about it for a year, and then finally it was, we're going to redo the master plan. We're going to need people to sit on the steering committee. And as a trustee in Gladwin Township, I figured I would get involved. We are county-wide zoning, okay? So zoning that the county provides is for our township as well. So I got on the steering committee. And at the steering committee, I observed, and I watched, and I listened, and I watched the process. And during that time, I started to wonder who this guy is, okay? First meeting, introduction, everything went fine. He was trying to lead us to places, and it looked to me like we were getting led into making industry a part of our residential and agricultural communities. So at that time, when I met some of our commissioners out in the township meetings, I asked them if they knew who this guy was, our planner, Art Mullen. I said, do you know who he is? No, I don't know. So I asked the other commissioner, do you know who this guy is? No, he didn't know. And at that time, I wish they would have spent their time and effort to know who he is. And if they would have, we wouldn't be here today with a document that will industrialize our agricultural and residential area. It will literally industrialize it. It's right in here. One of these things, it says attendees of a roundtable meeting expressed a demand to allow for machinery repair and light industrial uses within the agricultural zoning community. I was in that meeting. No one demanded anything. He was the one that brought that up every time it was brought up. He had one thing in mind. And I told one of our commissioners, he was upset because there's nothing in there for resident, or for recreational. And I told him, our planner has a one-track mind. All he's worried about is industrializing this community. Gladwin is different than a lot of communities. When you drive down to the county of Gladwin, you know, it's mostly residential. Everybody thinks it's ag. When you drive through my neighborhood, my farm's a mile long and there is no houses on my farm. But every other section has maybe 6 or 8 homes in that section. It's residential.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wish to make public comment on, anyone else wish to make public comment on an agenda item? All right, and again, there is public comment at the end of the meeting, and we'll invite, you don't even have to say what it's for then. All right, moving on then is, are you gonna talk about the LOA or Mark?
I can.
I mean, or you want Melanie? How are you guys, I just don't see Mark, so.
Yeah,
You're-
I think
You're second, go ahead.
he's probably in court. We finally got to hire somebody in the child support specialist role. After lots of begging, she's moving from friend of the court to our office. And we're just asking that, because she is already a current employee, that's been here, we're just asking that she starts out at the top end of our contract pay, and that she follows our Unit 6 contract. She's gonna move from Unit 4 to Unit 6.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions, comments from any commissioner? I do see, and I'm sorry, I don't need the microphone, I get moved so I can see people too. I see the letter of understanding. Normally by the time this comes to us, it's okay with union, it's okay with so this, we're usually the last signature. The one I have doesn't have signatures, but I'm assuming it's good to go with everyone else?
Yep.
Oh, that one does.
Yep.
I say, usually I'm the last signer on that, so. Okay, so then I want to thank you. I'm able to represent to my fellow commissioners that I am looking at a letter of understanding, the same one that was in the packet, signed by the prosecutor and the union, so there is already an agreement on that. It is something that's a standard practice. So anyone have any preliminary questions or comments, or if not, does someone wish to make a motion about this matter?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Donaldson, seconded by Commissioner Mester to approve the LOU as presented. And again, it looks like we have a couple, so this one is for the position in the prosecutor's office that was presented to us. I do remember that was vote at the lodge we first had that conversation. So, any additional questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Donaldson?
Yes.
Commissioner Winarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Mester?
Yes.
Commissioner Visnaw?
Yes.
5-0, motion passes, thank you. And, Matt, is Matt back there? There, usually in the middle.
Yeah, I tucked away in the corner this time. I wanted a new view.
After all that sweating and work Saturday, we can't see you anymore.
That's right. So our request is very basic. A couple weeks ago we were here, we talked about the healthcare administrator position. The union at that time had already agreed to the position, so you guys just have an LOU in front of you that we've already signed off on our end. So we're just waiting for your guys' approval to sign off on your end.
So again, this has been presented to this board in the past, discussed, and now we do have the letter of understanding signed. So you're the union and the department. All right, and that was in our packet. Any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion and second.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Visnaw, supported by Commissioner Winarski to approve the LOU for jail healthcare administration job. Any additional questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Winarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Mester? Commissioner Donaldson?
Yes.
Commissioner Visnaw?
Yes.
Thank you.
And, it wasn't a change to the agenda because it is a department head, but I do know, and any department head at this point could provide an update. But Bob North, has asked to provide an update, so that'll be our next department head update. If there's any other department head who wishes to do so, Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Just a couple quick updates. Ivy Gear, who's my summer assistant through funding from Michigan Works, who was a previous intern, is going to give an update on the fairgrounds activities, and I'll give a quick update on a couple other matters. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. This past Gladwin County Fair Week was a great success at the Emergency Management booth. We had lots of contact with the public and shared information and had preparedness coloring books for the kids to hand out. We made contact with 453 adults, 305 children, and we had 49 new NIXL signups. We also displayed the county elevation map and other maps with additional information, including our fire map up on the wall. Many had good questions, and it was an immensely positive experience. We also raffled out at no charge 2 weather radios and an emergency backpack with preparedness information and things in it for the children. Our 49 new NIXL signups brought us to 7,214 signups total, and our next goal is 8,000. Providing the ability to be warned is the best opportunity we as a county government can offer to our community.
As you said, it was a great week at the fair. It's our best opportunity for community outreach to get a lot of people at once. Of course, it does help that we're sitting across from the still exhibit for 4-H with all the fine work that those kids do in that. So, and yes, there is truth in the rumor. I did Wrangler Goat as part of the fundraiser, and I mostly won, but first time ever. Anyway, on the firewall project, we've had the electrical engineers out. This is a project that's going in phases. We have had the environmental study is done. The historical's done, and also we had to reach out to the tribes to make sure we had no issues with the Native American grounds. That's all completed. The electrical engineers have been out. We've got that done. We're waiting to hear back from them. We'll probably be starting a test drill at Bentley Fire, or Billings Fire Station number 2, which is Bentley Fire, end of this month or beginning of next month. So the project is on schedule. It just takes time to work through these processes. So that's going very well. I have some questions about whether or not we're going to do a cooling centers for the heat. We have power, so people can avail themselves of going shopping. They can avail themselves of going to the library, taking the transit bus if they need to go somewhere. Last 3 times that I have done either heating or cooling centers, we opened 3. One time we opened 4. This is over the last 3 years, and we had over the 4 times that we have opened things, we have had a grand total of 3 people actually show up, even with worse conditions than this. And this is a heat advisory. Don't go outside and stay in the sun too long. Stay cool. And we put some advice. We do a Facebook page now, and we are on X. And obviously we'll update on the website as well. But be cautious and do the smart thing. And we appreciate the support of the commission. Any questions? Here to field.
Just one, on the cooling centers idea, I know other counties do that. Is there a way, I get not having a formal cooling center that you staff and operate, but is there a way to partner with townships that might have office hours that are open and be able to?
We could do that is an option, but once again, we've got a limited 2-hour time limit, or maybe a 4-hour time limit. On a couple of days a week, you have to be the right time. And that is an option we have considered.
I get the hottest day in the last 5 years isn't the day we should be thinking about that or doing that, but I just wonder, I know there are different opportunities, even if it's the courthouse or different offices that we have available. I would imagine though, if somebody calls your office and says, I need a place to cool down, you have some opportunity.
Yeah, we're gonna refer them to the library, going shopping somewhere. This happens every summer. Yeah. Now, if we lost power, that's a whole different thing. Then we're gonna do what we need to do as far as sheltering goes. But once again, you have to staff them.
Have you gotten any calls, or do you frequently get
None.
calls from?
I've got none. I had a couple people complain the last time that were, you didn't have any warming centers, well, once again, when we have power, everybody has power. These things occur every year. And if there was a need, obviously, on an individual basis, although it's not an emergency management quote-unquote issue, obviously we'll do what we can to help them get it referred to the right place.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great questions, but I do like the idea of saying, like you said, you can go shopping, you can come, 8:30 to 4:30, you guys here, but, yeah, when we have 3 people, those 3 people need help, and I know you help them, but, the resources. Any other questions or comments? Joel, we'll allow the audience this time.
I just want to mention, of course, if it's a homeless situation, Mid-Michigan Community Action does have funds to get them up in a hotel, so that's also available.
Thank you. Any other?
That's all I
How,
have.
how long did it take you to write that? You did it all yourself? I know you did. Were you nervous?
Me?
Yeah. He typed it in. How are things going?
It's going great. I've had a great experience this summer, and I'm definitely learning a lot and being able to participate in a more in-depth level this summer, so it's been really great opportunities.
You two you're becoming like partners right now. It's not even, I know.
Well, she sets my schedule now, so.
No, but they were down at the street fair and walking around, and it really wasn't. It was 2 officers walking through the crowd, being polite, being engaging to citizens, but that presence, and I was just so ridiculously proud. I've always been proud of Bob, and I tell him how thankful we are and lucky we are that he's here, but thank you. You're a good partner with him, so I appreciate you both being here.
We got her for a few more weeks and she goes for her senior year at Alma, so.
And then we're gonna get her back, because she loves Gladwin County.
Well, she lives here, so.
This is true.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Any other department head wish to provide an update? If not, moving on to finance, computer purchase, data committee. And you want to?
Yes,
Okay,
my
so-
first meeting.
Either of you want to provide any update on that? And if you do, do we show up? You have to hold it for just a minute. Shut it off, now it goes red, so that.
Okay.
Either of you want to provide an update on that?
We'll let Melanie do it.
Oh, well, I think Commissioner Mester had something to say.
Well, it was my first meeting, and there was a lot to take in. I would embrace the size of the county, and how well, it looks like there's some capable people managing it, but I have to get up to speed, but
All right. We
very helpful.
appreciate it. Go ahead, take the request. Thank you so much.
Every year we purchase 5 computers to update our oldest computers or the ones that are not working well. This is just a quote that our IT company has sent us, the same company that we always go through with Dell. We just need the approval to get the purchase completed, and then they will be working to replace these computers.
So again, years ago, we didn't have this rolling replacement process, and that was probably not a good idea, because you get, I don't know, mine's 21 years old, how old is yours? Now we have a process and it's budgeted for, so much better management of that. Anything to add, gentlemen, from data committee? All right, does someone wish, any preliminary questions, or does someone wish to make a motion to move this matter forward?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, to have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Visnaw, seconded by Commissioner Mester, to approve for computer purchase cost of $6,940 from line 101 to 58815.005. Any additional questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Mester?
Yes.
Commissioner Visnaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Donaldson?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Winarski?
Yes.
Motion passes. Car deer accident. Undersheriff Cuddie.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So, one of the recurring issues, when you have a fleet of vehicles and you have officers responding to complaints or accidents. So this is just a routine issue. Fortunately, it's nothing more than a deer. So I would encourage, if you're not a hunter, please become a hunter. We need to thin out the herd around here because we have too many deer claims. But Unit 26-3 is a 2023 vehicle, 68,000 miles. So the board, I'm sure the board is aware, but for the citizens here, average cost of a patrol car right now, by the time we buy it and outfit it, is right around $60,000. So this particular vehicle has 68,000 miles. We definitely want to get it repaired. We did get 3 quotes. High Caliber in Beaverton came in just over 10,000, and then Greaves and Triple M came in just over 15,000. So I'm just looking for authorization from the board so that we can get this vehicle in one of the shops and start the repair process, get it back out on the road.
And again, thank you for that, sir. And the context of that is we do have insurance for this. The county's responsibility of that is always the $1,000. But we do still need the 3 bids and the lowest bid process through MMRMA. Should we ever decide that, or if there's a valid reason that we don't want to accept the lowest bid, we're able to do so, but the insurance company will ask why, and then we go back to whatever was in the bid or maybe missing or something. So ultimately, the decision is ours, even though the liability, the responsibility is $1,000. So I'm assuming, based on these are 3 reputable car repair shops in the area, I assume the recommendation is to go with High Caliber based on the quote?
That would be correct. Traditionally, we would go with the lowest quote. On a hit like this with these newer model patrol cars, a lot of times there has to be addendums to them when they get in there. Unfortunately, the Ford engineers have plasticized a lot of the parts in the front end of the car, so when you get in there, you don't know the extent of the damage until you actually tear it down. And so it's not uncommon, but High Caliber has done a good job. So has Greaves and Triple M. All our auto repair facilities do a really good job. So I would recommend High Caliber at this point.
Thank you. Any additional preliminary questions for our undersheriff?
I just have one. I'm still learning all of our different policies. What is our high mileage replacement policy with regard to vehicles?
It's a good question. We don't have an actual mileage. I look at vehicles based on condition, based on the service history, based on how that vehicle's been treated, how it's been repaired. So I don't have a magic number that we put on vehicles. It is in our policy. I don't have it in front of me. Vehicles are subject to scheduled maintenance and inspections. So we use several service centers. We use Maverick Ford oftentimes, but the vehicles do get inspected by mechanics, and we take the recommendations whether we should repair a vehicle or whether we should retire a vehicle. Also, I've been doing this about 30 years. I'd like to think I'm smart enough a lot of times to be a good fiduciary with the county money and go, it's time to set this vehicle, out to public auction. It's time to maybe give it to building code enforcement or one of the other agencies, but it doesn't need to be an emergency vehicle anymore because it has surpassed its usable value, and it may have safety issues. So I don't have an exact number on mileage, but we do try to keep our vehicles, once they reach that 120,000 mile mark, we start to cycle them out. Again, we want to be responsible because it costs not only money to get the vehicle, but when we upfit them with cages and computers and this police equipment, this emergency equipment, we don't want to prematurely cycle a vehicle out because we still have the upfit cost. So to answer your question, a lot of it has to do with condition. It's not just mileage. I would say, it's like people. It's not the model year, it's the condition. Any other questions, or I can give a quick department update. Deputies have been extremely busy, 4th of July weekend. Fortunately, not near as difficult as last year. We were busy. had to do a lot of catch-up after the holiday weekend, but I can tell you that Detective Walschlager and Deputy Lehman, they've been collaborating together, doing a lot of good police work, writing a lot of search warrants. Search warrants are up, seizures are up as far as we're recovering stolen property. We're routinely recovering methamphetamine and other drugs. We've been recovering guns lately, some illegal firearms, if you want to call them ghost guns, or guns that have been manufactured improperly and assembled improperly so that they aren't tracked. So I think we are, as McGruff would say, taking the bite out of crime. But moving forward, we still are at or near minimum staffing levels. We are moving forward. We did make a conditional offer of employment to one of our local residents, and they are slated to go through the academy this fall. And then we're actively working on getting a couple additional cadets screened for the winter spring academy. Right now we're at, I think, 10 deputies on paper. Two of which, one's got to go to the academy, and one's currently in the FTO program, is going to finish up here in August. So once he gets done, he'll be out, and we'll be able to count on him as manpower. And once we get our numbers up and start to stabilize, we'll provide a better service for the community members here, as well as it will alleviate some of the added stress that we had on the department, especially last year. And I don't know, I'm sure the Board of Commissioners may have been aware, community may or may not be aware, but we gave the deputy unit a unit commendation last year, just because they had to work so many additional hours. People had to cancel their vacations or forego leave, just because we didn't have enough people, you know. And we are in one of those industries or workforces where we can't just shut down. We can't turn off the lights. I can't leave a note on the door and say, we'll be back Tuesday. So, you know, I appreciate the patience in the community. You know, most people are understanding. We are moving forward. We are advancing. Our technologies are moving forward. We have working computers in the car. We have, community may not care for this part of it, but we have ticket printers, so we can expedite, you know, if you do something naughty, we can get that ticket out a little more efficiently. We have in-car lien now, which gives the officers information edge, and information edge is safety edge. They're not having to run everything over the radio. So we are moving forward. Again, you know, Gladwin County, traditionally, we've been a little bit behind the curve when it comes to advancements in technologies. And, you know, I'm all about being traditional, but I'm all about moving forward with some of these things, especially when we provide a better service. It creates more professionalism, and it creates a safer environment for the deputies. So, that's all I got.
Thank you. We haven't voted on the motion.
Oh, that's true.
Just saying. Anyone, but thank you, I always appreciate the update, we all do. Anyone wish to make any other preliminary questions around the car deer accident and the quote, or does someone wish to make a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Donaldson, supported by Commissioner Winarski, to approve the car deer accident, the bid from High Caliber Auto Body for sent to MMRMA for approval, our $1,000 deductible to be paid from line 101-301-932.000. Any additional questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Donaldson?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Visnaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Winarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Mester?
Yes.
5-0, that passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
We are up to, I just gotta get the number, 9C, Chamber of Commerce membership. This was interesting. We got and our chamber director is here with us. We got the invoice for the chamber membership, and it was provided then to our administrator for payment. We have a limit that the county can pay standard, customary, normal bills under a certain amount, and Melanie said, you know, we've never been a chamber member before. shouldn't, but we never have been. And so then we had the conversation, well, it's below the amount, should we just go ahead and pay it? I said no, because I think as a commission, when it's something new, even though it falls under the amount, I think there should be a conversation around that. And I'm on the chamber board, so I think that would have been a really bad look if we would have said, just go ahead and pay this. I am in support of it. I do think chamber membership is important. It shows, you know, our commitment to the chamber and to our community. But again, because I'm on that board, I wanted my team here to ask questions, and have your input. So, and we are members of the GBPA, right? And the BAC. So we are members of other, you know, this isn't something that's like out there. And I was just so surprised, and probably Carrie would have been too. I was like, I thought we were always a member. And one of those things, we thought we weren't, and so now we're bringing it to you. Questions, comments, concerns?
I have a statement. I was to the last chamber meeting with, they were talking about the Rotary, the Kiwanis and the Lions were there and what they can do for the community. It was very informative. I would encourage more people to go. Really, there's a lot to learn, but, you know, if you haven't been involved, and they need new members, everybody needs members and participations.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Someone wish to make a motion to approve the Gladwin County membership to the Gladwin County Chamber?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Mester, seconded by Commissioner Visnaw to approve the Gladwin County membership. The cost is $225. It's an annual cost from line 101-801.000. Any additional questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye. No, roll call, because it's money. Aha.
Commissioner Winarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Mester?
Yes.
Commissioner Donaldson?
Yes.
Commissioner Visnaw?
Yes.
I'm learning. All right, thank you all. Get you. Tree removal.
Over at the annex building, there is a cottonwood tree that, its debris is clogging our AC unit over there. So maintenance has asked me to present this. They could only get 2 bids. They have reached out to more tree companies, but they have not came forward to bid on this project. So there's 2 in your packet. It's just a pain for them to have to clean it out, and it's causing issues with our AC over there. So we'd like to get it taken care of.
In the 2 bills provided, I guess I'm just surprised at the difference in the amount. Is there a basis, reason, maybe the distance?
So we kind of talked about that too. It doesn't say that they're charging for mileage, but the one is from Clare and the other Oak Ridge is from Gladwin County. So that could be a difference there. But if you read them, they're both the same. There's cutting the tree down, removal, haul away, and no stops.
Any commissioner have any preliminary questions on this?
So more of a statement than a question. I know this is separate, but I just want to give a heads up that we're expecting trees. We're going to probably get a letter from Sage Township about the tree removal out of the county rec area. There are trees overhanging the roads. We've talked about it. I remember last year with the road commission who washed their hands of it, said it's not our problem until it falls on the road. Consumers said not in the line, but they are overhanging the road. Every time I drive under it, thankfully I make it past it because they're pretty dead and hanging over the road. I don't know where the responsibility is for us to have those assessed and removed as well. Not as dire from this, but maybe that's something we look at as well on the process.
Could we get an estimate so that when we have a conversation around that to say, you know, when the damage occurs? When we're in emergency mode, it could be X, but if we're in maintenance mode, it would be Y. Maybe we really should consider that. Do you think that's something that someone from that committee could get? And I'm not trying to dump additional things on you, but I just think that might be good, because I think if we wait till it gets to emergency mode, or takes out someone's car, I think we have.
I think that's more of the safety issue. Once it falls, it's on the road commission to clean it up. That was kind of the gist I got. But right now, it's on our property. It's on the recreation area property. So yeah, I think you could make that same call. I don't know if they would be able to kind of include it if it's in one bid, but I don't know how emergent this is, or if they're able to look at all the projects, or if we have a standing company that we go with. I know the city recently signed an agreement that they're just going with the company, so when a tree needs to be removed, they go with that and had a lower cost versus project by project. That's something we can look at as well, or if that's been long-standing too. I just know it was, every time I go past it, I wonder, and then it was brought up as a topic at the Sage Township meeting as well.
I think that's definitely something, I think we could ask these companies or get that. Again, I'd rather do it as maintenance than an emergency. Thank you. Any additional questions, preliminary questions or comments? If not, does someone wish to make a motion to approve this tree removal?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
I'll support it.
Motion by Commissioner Donaldson, supported by Commissioner Winarski to approve tree removal with Oak Ridge. The cost is $1,200 from line 101-265-935.000. Any additional questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Winarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Visnaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Donaldson?
Yes.
Commissioner Mester?
Yes.
Commissioner Bourret?
Yes. That passes. We are up to vehicle maintenance construction codes. Are you taking that one? Because I don't see.
Yes, I can take it. They have had a diagnostic done on their vehicle, the AC is out. This is for electrical inspectors vehicle?
Mechanical plumbing.
Mechanical plumbing, okay. They're just asking to get this fixed so they are not without AC.
Well, it is overlate to make that request today. And again, in our packet were three bids. It looks like T&J Automotive out of Beaverton was the lowest. Three very reliable bids received. Any preliminary questions on that? If not, does someone wish to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do you have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Mester, seconded by Commissioner Donaldson to approve the AC work to be completed by T&J Automotive. The cost is $1,088.31 from line 101-371-932.000. Any additional questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Bourret?
Yes.
Commissioner Visnaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Donaldson?
Yes.
Commissioner Winarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Mester?
Yes.
That passes. We are up to 13A. It looks like we have these are both election days, the early election days, is that both of them? Okay, so July 28th and October 27th, this room, as, again, I just like to give a context, because I just like to see somebody new here. We do early elections here at the county for a majority of our townships, and, not the cities, for the majority of the townships. So because of that, we are not allowed to be in here to have the meeting election integrity and our commitment to our citizens that this room will not only be available but secure, and it's the law. So based on that, on our meetings on July 28th and on October 27th, we'll need to move. We saw that when we had to move for the purposes of our elevator fix, that was actually kind of a cool thing. One of our meetings was at the lodge, one was at the road commission, both very well attended, both very nice meeting spaces. So I'm asking, I certainly, I mean, we can do the same thing. We can go out to the lodge. Anybody have any suggestions? Okay, you guys wanted, last time we did, the first one was out at the lodge. I don't know, Do they have air out there?
Minimal. There's
Okay.
a couple unit, mini split units.
Let's maybe talk this then.
Yeah.
If we did July 28th at the road, this is not me saying what to do, it's just a suggestion and it's a meeting, I don't wanna belabor the point too much. If we did July 28th at the road commission and Melanie our administrator has already checked, it is available, and October 27th at the lodge. What do you think?
My only thought is we have a lot of other facilities, maybe we open it up. I know we're on a short time frame, but we do have a supervisor from Sage Township. That's a big building that's able to accommodate. I wonder if Sage Township would be an appropriate venue for the July 28th meeting. They do have air, I know that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful facility out there. Do you know if July 28th is available?
Well, I would say if it's a Tuesday, it would be available.
Yeah, no, I like that. I guess then my only thought is the lodge is out that same basic direction, and it's just the opposite side of the county, which I live in. Any other suggestions on locations?
But then I think for the October meeting, maybe we have enough time, maybe we ask other townships if they're able to host us and move to different parts of the county.
Perfect.
I enjoy that. I like getting out and seeing different townships that I don't normally go to. I see Joel, I see.
We've got some
I know.
supervisors here. I love to see my township supervisors and trustees present. So, okay, based on the timing, if it's okay, and with Sage Township permission.
Yep, I will check the calendar today and I will get back with Alan today.
Perfect.
But I believe it will be available.
So, and I'm like, so we did it before, let's do it again. Good thinking. So July 28th, tentatively at Sage, and then we will get with, just put it out there to look for a different location, but mark your calendars if you got your books there, that both of those meetings will not be here because of the election, so those will be moved still. They're on Tuesdays, 9 o'clock in the morning. So perfect. I don't think we need to make a motion for that, we just need to make people aware, right? All right. Any commissioners, I guess if you have other suggestions for the October 27th meeting, just get them to Melanie. Go ahead, sir.
Would there be any kind of conflict with elections for looking at the township meetings?
Their early elections are here in the county building,
Yeah,
so
okay.
they would, like, you couldn't go, Tobacco does their own, so you couldn't
Okay.
go out that direction for that, and Secord, go ahead, Sue.
We can do October 27th at our home.
So, okay, so we'll tentatively consider that. It looks like you might be competing with Joel, but you two work it out. Well,
It doesn't matter.
no, I kind of like just getting out into other areas of the county has been really fun, so I like that idea. So tentatively, we'll do that. All right. Down to 13B, MMP update and to add Tim Mester to board.
For the MFP, we need to add Tim as our elected DPA member, so he can vote when he's there on Friday. So, I have to send the minutes over to Christina at Eagle, and then I will also have to send them to the MMP board to make them know that.
And again, for context, this was one of Commissioner O'Donnell's very pet projects, very something that she was very proud of serving on, probably frustrated at times, but something that in her absence, and that it would be in line, and it does work with your schedule to do that, sir. So,
Yes.
any preliminary questions on that? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I would make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Winarski, seconded by Commissioner Donaldson, to make Tim Mester the elected DPA member to the Heartland Materials Management Board. Any additional questions or comments? They don't need a roll call vote, right? We just say, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. All right. We are up to 14A, Master Plan, presented by the Planning Commission. Is someone going to do a presentation on that, or? It was in the pack, so we did have an offer. It was actually sent out earlier and then in the pack. Commissioners hopefully have had an opportunity to go through that. I've certainly heard from some folks on that. preliminary questions or comments?
As I understand it, the vote that we would, take today would start a 67-day period, review period.
It would, if this board moves that document forward today, I believe it starts a 63-day review period, and, yes, that would be the next step. Is that correct, sir?
If this is not the approval of the master plan draft, this is the beginning of the review process.
So what does that process look like for modifying the plan?
I understand the question.
So, it's a 72-page document. I went through it line by line, and I have 71 corrections, questions. I want to start off positive. So there are a lot of great things that I see in this plan that will set Gladwin up. There are some unique things that I haven't thought of, especially when it talks about non-motorized access from different parts of the county that connects different trails. I know the Trail of Two Cities that are part of our recreation plan board, or our recreation board, but there are a lot more things that I'm concerned about. In more than just the content of it, there are many grammatical errors, there are sections that are left incomplete, there are different townships mentioned that aren't Gladwin, there are graphs that have to do nothing with Gladwin that don't show our township or our county. One of the specific things that really got to me was on page 25. I want to grab this one too. On the second column there, additionally, the county has taken steps to ensure that proper hazard mitigation planning measures have been put into place. Gladwin County does have a FEMA-approved hazard mitigation plan which maintains the. That's the end. The what? And when I look at, I really didn't, when I reviewed this, it wasn't that I wanted to look at any hidden meetings or different things. I read it for what it is, and I'm just embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by the grammar mistakes. I'm embarrassed by a lot of the content. One of the, I'm gonna pick out another page so that we can see it. Again, I have 72, 71. This was about, and a lot of this might not even be noticed. I'm trying to think of this section, or find the section where it says it. It's about health. Anybody finds the health section? It is on page 45. Nope. Yes, 45. It says, it's on health facilities. Second paragraph says, there are 2 extended care facilities in the county. There are also many dentists, optometric centers, chiropractors, and other medical services available to residents. On its face, we'd say, oh, that's neat, we have those things. Gladwin County, the state of Michigan declares that a county is in a health desert if there is 1 dentist to every 3,000 residents. That is considered a dental desert. And Gladwin County has 4 dentists for 25,000 people, 26,000 people. That is 1 dentist for every 6,250 residents. We are double dental desert. And I get that not everybody knows that, but to simply put that there are also many dentists. No, there's not. We have 4 dentists for 25,000 people. We have one of the highest emergency room visits for dental care in the state, which is taxing on our emergency services. It is taxing on Medicaid. It is, and we have 4 dentists. And to simply put, there are many dentists, just is not true. And that is one line in this plan. It also notes in one section that Gladwin has 23% high school graduates. And that just isn't true. And looking at one section, later on in that same section, it mentions the ACS as a data set that it uses. And the ACS says there are 87% of our residents have a high school diploma. It's a big difference between 37% and 87% on who has a high school diploma. And I really tried not to go into numbers and correct the numbers of every little thing, but when I see something glaring like that, and only 37%, that's a huge disparity to say 37% of our residents have high school diploma. I don't believe that's true. I haven't polled every person, but it just sounded odd to me. So then I did a little more digging and found out a different survey says 87% that's mentioned in there. So why the disparity? Why is it inaccurate? And again, not to be vain, but starting off on page 2 where it even has our County Board of Commissioners, not the correct names that are even on that. And that started off right on the first page. So I just feel like this was rushed. A lot of spelling errors, a lot of, even talking about the sections where we talked about the flooding in 2020 and the history that it went through that, I don't think that timeline that it even talks about in a couple different places is accurate. Something as small as our airport. So if there's a section on our airport, on page 48. It says there's no scheduled commercial air services available. It is classified as a Class B field. A Class B field has continuously monitored air traffic control with a tower, a restricted airspace that you have to have permission to enter. We're not a Class B field, we're a Class A field. Class B, the only Class B field in the state of Michigan is the Detroit Airport. We're not that. And for this document to get this far with those things, I'm sad about, because I was really hoping when I opened this that it was going to be more of the details or the long-term planning or the big picture ideas that we could discuss as this whole, because I know there's been a lot of work done on this document over the last 15 months or longer. But for this being the 72-page document that we get with those simple mistakes is frustrating and embarrassing for us. And I expect more. I don't like when we're just tossed a piece of paper and says, here, approve this so we can get it going. And I shouldn't have to spend 3 hours going through a 72-page document line by line to find grammatical errors and glaring things like that. And it's just not fair. It's not fair to us as a board, it's not fair to our residents, and it's not fair for our time.
Well, I think that this really shows that we probably need to have Wade Trim come and before this group and we address not only the corrections that have been mentioned, but it also, that's not even getting to the heart of the master plan, which addresses things like housing issues, how the master plan winds up addressing farmland versus growth issues. I think that and I not a disservice to the planning commission, but since Wade Trim was the author of this document, I think that they should be the one that addresses our concerns and our issues. And I don't think we should start the 67-day period until we would actually address this with the planner.
Thank you, sir. Anyone from this side wish to make comment? In reading through the document, I did stop doing the, I'm not an English teacher, I'm not going to, fix those types, because really it was the focus on content, and if the content were there, then we go and I would say nitpicking, because it needs to be right. And I was disappointed. I'm going to maybe soften my word just slightly. I was disappointed in what we saw here. Some of the, I wondered, obviously, anytime you do, I mean, anyone who knows, like, when you do something like this, you don't, quote, reinvent the wheel. People say that, you cut and paste from other plans, you put that in there, you move things forward, you put in what's specific to your area, and, some of it is the same. But it really seemed that there was a big focus in certain areas of desired change and less focus in really understanding Gladwin County. So I'm concerned when I hear that a representative who we chose to be on that board says, hey, it says in there this, I was there and that didn't happen. We weren't there, and I want to be clear to the citizens. This is a committee. When we have projects in the county, that is how things are done. We pick a representative, much like we assigned Commissioner Mester to our MMP. He's not going to go to that organization, go to those meetings, and make decisions on behalf of the county. He's going to go as our representative, bring the information back, and let us vote on it. Now, we can have some additional questions and send things back, but I think for this document, I have a lot of additional questions, and it needs to be sent back with those questions. And so I'm not prepared, and I want to be clear. Yeah, the people might say, or some might be like, you're not voting on it, and we be very clear. Even if this board said yes to move this forward today, it doesn't finalize the plan, but it does start a very, very small window, 63 days. We had that conversation when we talked about a moratorium at a prior meeting. Nothing in government happens that fast. 63 days in county government goes by very quickly. And so to have that time period start today, should we vote yes, and I will be voting no, I want to indicate that, unless additional comments here change my mind, because I do always keep an open mind in hearing from not only the citizens, but my fellow commissioners. But starting that time period today, I think is reckless. I think we're not ready. I think this document does not support what the master plan of Gladwin County needs to be. Not because I don't support, there are some positive things in there, there are some good things in there, but I don't think it's ready to move forward. And I think rushing it is a disservice to this county, disservice to Gladwin in 2046. I won't be around then, but I want someone to be sitting in the seat to say, man, those commissioners put some time in that. Man, they did, what was right for the county. And I don't think this document gets us there yet. So those are my comments. No. We talked, so thank you, but no, this is not, I said to someone that, don't, anyway, we can talk, but anyway, any other comments or questions? I have to ask, because it is on the agenda, is there a commissioner who wishes to move this current master plan forward? Is there a motion to that effect? Hearing none, that matter will not be taken up at this commissioner meeting. Under old business, I have nothing under chair comments. I just made some comments and that's a lot. I'm gonna pass on that. Commissioner Visnaw.
The 23rd and 24th, I participated in the interview process for a new health officer for the Central Michigan Health Board, and then we had the meeting on the 24th. Selection was made, and a job was offered to a new health officer, and accepted. And on the 1st, I attended the planning commission meeting, and as usual, that was a lively discussion. On the 3rd of July, we had the data committee meeting. And we've already talked about some of the subjects that we dealt with there. But the only thing with a note that also came from that is training for September 11th here in this room for all county employees, IT training. That's it.
And we did, there was a handout on all of our desks, so, thank you, sir. Commissioner Donaldson, District 2.
Thank you. The Sage Township meeting, blight was a big conversation. Seems to be a theme. I know Gladwin Township is also dealing with blight. I think it comes to a head a lot of times in the summer. There's been some conversation I'd like to see, especially where Gladwin Township meets the City of Gladwin Parkway. There's a weird, some of it's city, some of it's Gladwin Township. There's a mix in between. I know Kimberly's involved in some discussions with that. I'd like to see the city and the Gladwin Township work together. That area, blight is a concern, and there is a drain right then that a lot of runoff and things probably get tossed into there. I'm concerned with that. So I'm hopeful that we do see some cooperation between Gladwin City and Gladwin Township for that area. They did not have a meeting for Gladwin City. They moved their meeting to the last week of June, which I didn't see until I saw it posted online, that they do that because of budget reasons. So they did that, so they did not have the regularly scheduled meeting the first Monday of the month. The County Parks and Recreation meeting is tonight at 6 o'clock at the Sportsman's Club. I encourage everybody to come to that and discuss it. Our county parks, even within that master plan, really focuses on parks. I'd like to see, I'm disappointed that nobody came to a Parks and Recreation meeting to talk Parks and Recreation in the master plan, but we'll continue to have those discussions on Parks and Recreation at those meetings. For the Gladwin County Complex, Sports Complex, football numbers for registration is down quite a bit, but soccer is up for registration, so they're trying to, football's been discussing a couple other options on how to increase some of their numbers, some ideas. I was an adult flag football league, so if anybody wants to dust off their knee pads and play some adult football, that's something that's being tossed around. I've seen some adult padded football leagues going up around. It would not be considered for that. And tonight at the complex, they're actually having a demonstration from a company that comes in with a whole groundskeeping machine that has all different attachments and things to it, that Little League and football and a lot of different organizations are going to be attending to get a demonstration on those. So if anybody from our facilities want to be part of that, or from the city, if anybody is interested in just seeing what's out there, that's at 5:30, I think, at the complex tonight. It is at 5:30 at the complex. And then finally, the Gladwin County Fair is wrapped up, a great attendance for the fair, as well as just the auctions, the most animals that's ever been in the auctions, the involvement from the community for that fair just warms my heart every year. Tells me that we're not just a plan, we're people, and that it's just a great experience. So I was happy to hear from Bob as well about their enjoying that. And finally, if you were in Gladwin on Saturday, and at the Street Fest was the culmination of a lot of work over the last 6 months. We had a dedicated group from the Gladwin Business Professionals Association to plan that. There were 129 vendors, in addition to the kids zone and all the food trucks and just thousands of people enjoying our downtown area for the mural that is going on. Just everybody I talked to walking around that was just so thankful for. It's just neat to see what our downtown can look like with so many people. There was also a 5K that I did not participate in, but I did participate in the 0.5K. That went along with it, so I did do my 0.5 of a K. Got the same medal as the 5K. And that was to benefit a nonprofit that provides at no cost clothes, whatever needs that foster families have. Both foster families, kinship families, which are relative providers, if a relative takes in a youth, a relative that's in foster care, and adoptive families. So that's a nonprofit. They raised quite a bit of money for that nonprofit to provide resources to our families and to families around our area. So just neat overall. It's been a great week in Gladwin. I'm very hopeful for Gladwin, and I appreciate everybody for coming out.
Ed, a formal introduction for you folks. We're up to our District 3 Commissioner. This is Tim Mester. Tim, obviously, your first meeting here, so it'll get more routine as to what we do, but if you first maybe want to give the folks a little bit of a background about you, and then any updates you want to share with us.
Thank you for the appointment. I was started local politics in 2018 in Billings Township as supervisor, and then after losing Tammy from our township, I decided to step forward to try and help the county and our other townships. With that, Bentley has appointed a new supervisor. They had their past supervisor resign. Billings has appointed a new supervisor. Bentley says, oh shoot, I just had it written down. I'll come back. Larry Grill was Billings, and Brett Newmeyer is back at Brad Newmeyer, excuse me. Brad Newmeyer's new Bentley. With that, the Wixom Lake Improvement Board is going to set a schedule up with Wixom Lake Association to share with the public on spraying and mowing, so that the residents that have frontage can work together, and so they're not, they can just be together and do it as a team, and everybody understands what's going on. And we have Wixom Lake Association meeting today. I have Bourret and Grimm Township boards, and it's going to be an interesting challenge to serve a bigger palette of issues and people. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Karen Moore, District 4, that's me. Let's see, still, when you go so late, then yeah, my boss can talk about that. But I do want to talk about the Street Fest. It was a great day on Saturday. Gladwin Assembly of God, primarily in the children's zone, and that was, could you imagine the children's zone? But where I was, and some of you saw me, thanks for coming up, those of you who said, aren't you on there for? And thanks for being kind. That was nice. But in any event, we were down at the Gladwin Public Arts area. If you've not driven through the city of Gladwin, go that way on your way home, even if it's a little out of the way. Carefully, as you drive past one of the corners, look back behind you and you'll see the mural that is being painted in Gladwin County right now. That was an incredible community project, partly funded through the GBPA, partly funded through the Gladwin DDA, and then private donations still being accepted because we're slightly under. But in any event, what was really neat about that on Saturday, in addition to watching the muralists, the professional muralists painting on that, citizens could paint. Anyone in the community could come up and paint a section of that mural. Yeah, it was paint by numbers because it needed to look a certain way, but for forever, you can drive by that and say, I painted that flower, I painted that leaf, I did this. So that was really, really cool to see community involvement in doing that. And so the Street Fest in general was just an incredible event for Gladwin County. So if you know any of those involved in that, please thank them. Same thing, the July 4th parade in the city of Beaverton, that's always their biggest event, one of their biggest events. And that was an incredible day, very well received. Commissioner Visnaw mentioned that our health department does have a new executive director. It really is important that we know who's running our areas, and so we did have Commissioner Visnaw was on the hiring committee for that, so I want to thank him for, I think he made a good selection there. Mid-Michigan College has a new president. He started July 1, so Tim Hood retired, and Scott Mertz is now the president of Mid-Michigan College, and unfortunately, we had a death on that board, and so tonight we will be voting to fill that position. So if you're really interested in local government, that meeting starts at 5 o'clock, and applications were due last Friday, so it will be the application process, but we will be selecting a new trustee. The problem is we have an election and they got to run right away. Four Lakes Task Force. On July 8th was their last update that they did, and once they do them public or live with the public, then they get posted. They already posted on the website, so if you missed that, some of us may have missed it because on July 8th, a good amount of us were down reading of the Declaration of Independence. That was mentioned at a prior board meeting, and quite a few community members, even on that short notice, were able to come down, and others had other commitments, other meetings that they needed to attend to, so we can't be all places, but that was a phenomenal community event. But back to the Four Lakes, that was also the day that they did their update, then they posted online. One of the things we learned and we're seeing is that on July 21st, Smallwood has their final state inspection. Once that's done, get clear where the project is moving forward. When we drive across US 10 and see Sanford Lake with all of the boats and smiling people and happy activity, we'll see that very soon here on our local lakes. I know those on Secord are slightly disappointed with the delay, but they're going to be ridiculously happy next year. So we're moving forward. Tobacco Township is mowing the lake bottoms, continuing to have the lake ready for the refill of Wixom Lake. And this is important, Ross Lake. Ross Lake has an improvement board. We talked about that a few months ago, and that they have, because they are looking to do weed treatments and improvements to Ross Lake, much like the Wixom Lake Improvement Board does. They have to have public meetings to decide if that's what the public wants to have happen at whatever assessment amount it's going to be, and it's going to be a public hearing, public meeting, and that is August 27th at 5:30 at the Beaverton Elementary School. So again, a public hearing to discuss what is being proposed for Ross Lake. So flashback to what we had them at the BAC, and then at Dow Diamond, where we had the public meetings around the Four Lakes project. This is similar, but because it's only Ross Lake, we thought the Beaverton Elementary could hold what we believe the crowd to be, and so that's August 28th. Look forward to seeing everyone there. That's all. I did get a card, thank you, so let's put that into the record. Gladwin County River Race of Two Cities has sent a thank you. Your generous support made this event possible, and so from the Conservation District, that was a great event. Hopefully we had representation there also. Commissioner Winarski, District 5.
Yes, attended the court security meeting. The primary discussion was around how vendors access the courthouse and how we track them. I did wind up attending the airport committee meeting or commission meeting, and Mike Hargrave is back to work on a full-time basis now. His assistant Tina completed her coursework for assistant manager, airport manager, and we got notification of 2 grant awards, one for $98,000 for a new truck with plow for the airport, and $38,000 approximately for the security fencing for the north, end of the, fairgrounds parking lot. So, those, the north end, which, yeah. So, anyway, we were pleased to receive, the notice of award on those because, that truck is fully funded, and that means that we don't have to wind up, taking money out of our, small, general fund for, that purchase. The last thing I'll note is that I will not be signing up for adult football. I think there should be an age limitation. But, and that's it. Oh, I went to the Beaverton, meeting last night, only to find out that the meeting had been canceled due to a power failure. That meeting has been rescheduled for July 20th. Beaverton Township.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute, that's mine, that's mine. Okay, I'm Beaverton.
Yeah, I'm.
Thank you. Commissioner Marcy, we could sign a petition and make you play football. Okay. All right, board communications, I guess technically that was communication, but we put it under the other. We are up to our second public comment. This is limited still to 3 minutes, but on any item you wish this commission to consider, you'll be given an opportunity to do so. Again, you never need to give your name, and this time you don't need to say what you want to talk about. Go ahead.
Thank you to the board, all the board, even Big Mike. This was an important thing. You know, it's important that we get this right. Can you imagine, you know, a company like Wade Trim? You know, these are people that, if you look at, do a little research, they've got alphabet soup after their name. These are educated people, and they come up with a document that's this incredibly juvenile, defies logic. This is what you get when you do cookie cutter and you paste and you get all kinds of mistakes like this. This is not what they were hired to do. But actually, you know, he was doing what he was hired to do in a way that Wade Trim, they go into the communities and they set the groundwork with master plans and local ordinances to make it easier for solar, wind, battery, and data. If you research Wade Trim, you'll find that one of their main things these days is to go and set up future you know, data centers in communities. Not to say that we're going to get one, but we're ripe for it though. You know, we don't have ordinance to deal with it. We're outdated on the master plan, one that's viable anyway. So if I were a commissioner, first thing I would do would be to send Wade Trim packing. We do not need help like this in this community. There's a lot of talented people in this community that could work on you know, a master plan and the ordinance. Can you imagine Art Mullen writing a local ordinance to, you know, deal with data centers or solar? We do not need our community to be destroyed. So I just want to thank the entire body here for taking a step in the right direction and calling it what it is. And you know, you're a step in the right direction of not being on the wrong side of history. You know, people will look back, like you said. You know, you get down, you know, 20, 30 years down the road, and they're gonna look back on this one. You know, if you make a wrong decision here. You know, the other thing is too, they're starting within the next 5 years. You know, you're gonna see a lot of the next generation consider green energy because it uses up the old, you know, nuclear waste from you know, previous reactors. And you can put a nuclear reactor in the back of a semi truck and take it wherever it needs to go. That's going to make all these other little projects here with the solar and wind obsolete, starting in about 5 years. And they got a number. If you do the research, you've got a number of different power, you know, energy solutions there. So this is just a total waste of money and time.
Thank you.
But anyway, thank you to the board, appreciate it, thank you, Alan.
Anyone else wish to make public comment?
Hello, I'm Nicholas Watts from Tobacco Township. I just had a couple of questions. First one, is there a place where I can find information on all these commission meetings just to be more involved?
Public comment is just for you to address us, but we will absolutely, we'll write your questions down and answer them. But I don't want to take your 3 minutes. So
Okay, so that was the first question. I had another question, but then I'm just gonna agree with Alan. If the document itself, if the plan is riddled with little tiny mistakes and details, I can only imagine that the execution of the big plan is gonna be riddled with tiny mistakes, and we don't want that. So that's all I got. I have one more, that other question, should I say that, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's just, where can I get a copy of the master plan?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll get that both up for you, so the dates and the master plan.
Very good. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to make public comment?
Again, thank you for the consideration for the master plan. I am here to present another item. I'm very concerned about a bus system that will most likely be going in on Grout Township. My township is only a mile from that location, and I have serious concerns, and I've been investigating. It was a hot topic at the Arthur Township meeting last night. It was on the agenda. Our township supervisor spoke with Jerry Becker, the Clare County Emergency Planner, who is also very concerned about this topic. Because of this, the board will be considering requesting Gladwin County consider an extension already on bus systems. Their idea was a 9 to 12-month extension. And I'd like to point out that was what the Planning Commission originally proposed. I also spoke with Bill Strauss, Sheridan Township Supervisor and Assessor in Clare County, who was also previously an Isabella assessor. He has a lot of experience with DTE and the windmills and the solar. He is very concerned based on his experience with DTE. I spoke with him at length on this. He is very much interested in presenting a letter requesting an extension on the moratorium because Clare County, because it's so close, has a lot to do. I cannot begin to cover what I have uncovered studying the bus system. I'll throw out there FLAIR, who is a global leader in sensor systems. On their website, it said several incidents and best sites in 2024 to 2025 underscore the fundamental requirement for robust monitoring for thermal runaway. For example, a sizable fire broke out in California, 2025. The fire released toxic gases, forced evacuation of 1,500 residents. It was challenging to extinguish it due to the nature of the lithium batteries, which exploded when brought in contact with water and can reignite. I could go on, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Some of the things that has to be considered is the toxic smoke particles and the heavy metal fallout, harmful gases and byproducts. Here's a new one: contaminated firefighting water. That's a big problem for farmers. Longer-lived ecological effects. That's just a small amount of problems. I would also like to bring up that the 2026 edition of the NFPA, which is the standard for the installation of stationary energy storage system, has noted that with 87 utility-scale best failures globally and no proven way to extinguish the lithium-ion battery fires, they have updated the standard, shifting from fire safety strategy from suppression to containment and exposure protection, and they have a list of things in their new standards that needs to be addressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to make public comment?
Well, I hope it's easier to get up here and talk because I feel a wave of positivity come over. I think our system's working, okay? And I wanna thank Alan Donaldson, and I told you a while ago, I'm gonna let Mike Holding know about you. So you may be getting another new job soon. But, it takes, I thank you for your decision. I sat on the steering committee, and on my second meeting, I was alarmed, okay? And I tried to convey that respectfully. I tried not to be, last thing I wanna do is get disrespectful. But if I feel I see predetermined decisions, I get trouble. But today, you showed me that the predetermined might not be as big a factor as I thought it was. So, again, I'm relieved. I am going to hit again on Wade Trim. I am gonna hit again on Art Mullen, because this is where our problem started. You know, I was in Midland County at the Ingersoll Township meeting where they tried to approve the solar thing. I got down there, the solar, it was a special land use permit. I got down there and there was Art Mullen, okay? This guy's all over, everywhere DTE is. You can't have that, okay? It's bordering the line of corruption, of, what's the word I'm looking for? They're hooked together. You can't have that in our system. Our system has to be checks and balances. So, you know, again, I just want to thank everyone for giving us more time. You need to go back to look at the author of this master plan and figure if you can make something of it. I'm going to be negative there. I don't think it's possible. Alan, he did his job, obviously, and he rejected it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to make public comment?
Hi, Joel Vernier, Secord Township. Couple things, August 1st, pontoon dam tours at Secord Lake Marina, Secord Lake Association, no cost to come on, get a tour, and you'll have speakers on each of the pontoons addressing some of the things that happened over these last few years on getting our dam back. I gotta tell you, Smallwood Lake is coming up pretty soon. Smallwood Lake had some challenges. There's no access, there's no DNR ramps or nothing right now, so it was very difficult in scheduling and getting work done on Smallwood as far as cutting and finding contractors that could have the time to do things on short notice. So basically, we've cut over $20,000 worth of shoreline just in the last 3 weeks to make sure we're gonna have as safe a lake as we can. Every lake's gonna have different areas to watch out for, but I just wanna give special thanks to Oak Ridge Tree Service for their extensive cutting, and Scott Lake Bottom cutting in the work that he's done also. Just tremendous work by these people. And then finally, Council of Local Government, September 28th at the Lodge. We're gonna have just a little board ethics presentation, a little fun of the board. Why would you wanna be on a board, and what kind of behavior should you look for? We did last month have an Open Meetings Act workshop. Had a lot of positive comments on that. People telling me that they walked away with a couple of things that they didn't know. And that's what it's all about. If you do a workshop and you walk away with 1 or 2 diamonds, that's just a beautiful thing. So those workshops are also available to any of the boards in Gladwin County. If anyone would like to take advantage of that, the Open Meetings Act, board ethics, that kind of thing, I'm available to do that. So thank you very much.
Anyone else wish to make public comment?
Can I just ask a question?
Well, yeah.
I'm listening and seeing and reading. We talk about the data centers, the battery plants, the solar farms, the wind turbines. What's Gladwin's plan if there is a battery fire at one of these storage plants? Is our fire department, is the county prepared? Do we have everything in line to take care of this? Just that question.
I'll be quick, just gonna be echoing what a lot of people are saying. Thank you so much to everybody on the board for your careful consideration of this topic. Like they said, I think it shows that our system is still working, and that's really good. Special accommodations to Mr. Donaldson there, and going through the document and thoroughly and having all the evidence right there to bring up it's spectacular to watch. So thank you so much to the board for this consideration, and hopefully going forward, we can continue to make this county so great, and for, like you said, 20, 30, 200 years into the future. Let's go even further, because that's what we can do, and, been here that long, let's keep going for that. So thank you so much to the board.
Anyone else wish to make public comment?
Hey there, I'm Top of the Favor. I'm the Conservation Specialist with Gladwin Conservation District. Though any views expressed here on my own. I appreciate the shout out for the River Race of the Two Cities. It's an honor to be here to serve this community. And I also want to express my gratitude as well to Commissioner Donaldson and Commissioner Moore for your comments regarding the master plan. I have not had the opportunity to review the master plan myself. I would be also curious to receive a copy of the document. And I also hope to continue attending these meetings to work with the commissioners and with our constituents here in the county who understand that there's so much value to our land and our resources here in Gladwin County. And one of our main priorities, I believe, for the next 20, 30, 100, 200, continuing out, is the conservation and the protection of our land and our waters. And so I appreciate your time and consideration for this, and I hope to see you around at future meetings. I also would like a meeting schedule, if possible. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to make public comment? Okay, it's not public, but I guess I have one thing, and I just wanted to make this comment, just in general. I've had people say to me, geez, I don't know that the commissioners care. I didn't see Commissioner X at this event. I didn't see Commissioner Y here. Why wasn't this person here? Why weren't all of you at the Planning Commission? I implore you to understand that we have committees, that we have assignments, that, I think if someone says, hey, this is this really fun event, do you want to go? We probably all would be like, yeah, I'd like to be there. But I have another committee assignment on behalf of this county that is important, that has priority. Not that it's more important, but anyway, that I get saddened sometimes when I hear, Commissioner X doesn't care because they weren't present at that event. And I can tell you, and I've said before, these folks sitting around this table, I'm ridiculously happy to serve with each and every one of them. Even when we have differences of opinions, we state them, we're respectful to each other, and most important, or as important, I believe every one of us is present in our community, giving a lot to the community and serving as we're required to on committees, and then as we're able to on other events. So please, I'm asking for grace when you don't see Commissioner Y there. Even if they're taking a day off, my goodness, I think I get 2 of those a month. And that's okay, but I get frustrated when, I hear that. So I just wanted to make that comment that we're doing our best, and I think our best is pretty darn good, and I'm proud of these gentlemen who sit at this table with me. So, if there's nothing else to come before this meeting.
Karen, I was just gonna mention, I did hear back, and the hall is available on July 28th.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So again, because we are in July, I'm going to indicate that'll be in the minutes, and because again, normally our meetings are here. This is where we meet, but when my buzzer's gonna go off, I'll stop that. But because we cannot be here on July 28th for elections, we have to move. We will be moving to Sage Township, 9 o'clock. If you need directions to that, please get them while you're here, or see me, see anyone. But that'll be on July 28th, and then at our next meeting, we'll have conversation about where we should go in October. Thank you for that. Looking forward to being out there. So now, if nothing else to come before this meeting, we're adjourned. Thanks for